little bit to see, or else we don't know. And let's see if it's okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA. We're going to be talking about retail today, a little bit. And here we go. So first, we're going to start with a commercial celebrating Lovesac's 25th anniversary. I had the privilege of working with Sean at Lovesac a little bit and helped him grow a lot. And so let's get over to that and see what it looks like. Okay, we'll start at the beginning.
All right. Love bag, bean bag,
Sean right
heart
there.
bag, sack, flower bag, sack heart, love bag, love sack, love sack, love sack.
Okay, now they're showing all these actors and famous people, artists.
Da, 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 da,
And how long they've owned Lovesac. What they do with them. And that's it.
Bean bag.
That's it. So anyway, let me tell you something. Let me tell you some stuff about Lovesac. Let's get over to there. Okay, so they celebrate 25 years. As I said, that's Sean Nelson at the beginning, and noodling out the name. And he drove around with a monster beanbag chair that he'd made out of cutting up old foam, and ended up starting like a recycled foam recycling, furniture foam recycling, and beanbag, kind of not a beanbag, but something that had better support, wasn't quite so heavy, and worked better. And his friends loved it. He would put it in the back of his pickup truck, and everybody would flop into it when they went, to picnics or concerts and stuff. So that's how they got started, and they fairly well they opened a lot of stores that were sort of franchisees, and then that kind of ended, and they retrenched a bit. And this is just top of the waves, but we started working with them in 2014, and their CFO told me if there was a way they could grow without opening any new stores, they'd be delighted. A consultant had told them to start a catalog company, but it wasn't working at all. I asked for the results, and he told me there weren't any results. Well, that's not good. So anyway, we started trying to pull their data together, clean it up a little bit, and do some segmentation and some modeling. And then they got a new VP of marketing, Patrick Santangelo, and a very smart guy, but not a lot of male background. And so he was like, I don't really think it makes sense. This was profound, actually. This is one of the best questions anyone's ever asked. He said, I'm not sure we should be spending money mailing to our customers who know what we do, when our biggest challenge, according to our market research, is name recognition. Nobody knows our name. Once they know our name and what we do, we compete head to head with Williams-Sonoma and Wayfair and other sort of online furniture companies. So I said, well, would you like to know the impact of the catalog? And he said, well, how could you know? And so we did some holdout testing, where we mailed most of the customers the catalog, and we withheld it from others. And we looked a month or two down the way and saw if there was any difference between the customers who got mailed and the customers who didn't. And it turned out, on a tight match, that we had about a 300% return on investment on the catalog, on the customers that got mailed. and compared to the cost of the catalog. So that made him happy for a while. But while we were doing that match and the holdout match, um, Ted, my IT guy, came to me and he said, there's a lot of next door neighbors seem to be in there that we're not counting, that are a close match but not a tight match. I called Patrick and I said, would you mind if we included, loosened up the match a little bit? And he said, well, run it both ways and let's see what you get. Well, it turned out that when we loosened it up a little, there was a 900% return on investment with the, and that's an EBITDA, not a return on ad spend. No, this was EBITDA, just not, not the sales. The sales were probably 3,000%, the return on ad spend. But bottom line profit after cost of goods was out, after cost of advertising was out, after shipping and handling and marketing overhead was out, it was still 900% return on investment with that little catalog. And I said, since this is working so well, we ought to be able to use mail in other ways. And so we started testing traffic building, just alerting people to specials. And then, we did some offer testing. And the offer testing was really profound because there were 4 main offers, and you could see them in the somewhat in the commercials, where you can slop them all up, you could tear them up, and you could get new covers. That's the way this works. And you could also rearrange things, and there was a little hint of that in the ad. But we found that one of 4, there were 4 offers we tested, A, B, C, D, split, and one of them, and I won't reveal which, one of them outpulled all 3 others put together. And so that gave us some insight into what to do with the commercials and the website, because they were continually offering 4 different main points when one was really, really the compelling one that got people to act. And so then Brian Dillette at LS Direct called on him, unknown to me, and he recommended retargeting by mail with postcards. And we'd already seen the positive impact of postcards. And they got started with that, and so when people they did TV commercials, because like in Boston they had 5 stores. I don't know what they've got now, but TV works, especially when you've got multiples in a metro. And then they would encourage people to go to the website, and then Brian would look them up and send them a postcard and invite them to the store. And that worked really, really, really well. And Brian did a lot of testing. He does a lot of testing, and he's got some secrets that you can find the interview with Brian and me. But anyway, a good, solid direct marketing environment, and that just poured gas on what we learned from the testing in other areas. But this is the way it should work. You should be thinking about using mail as your research tool, because you actually drive sales. You can drive sales in mail. And that then gives you data. It gives you special data that you don't get from mass media and you don't get from social media. And that is that we knew who we mailed. We knew all the customers we mailed. We knew the ones that responded, right? And that both of those are necessary for training AI and machine learning, which we'll get to in a second. And so that led us to insights that we could then test further with mail, which then led us to theories. That's how predictive anything works. You test and test and test, and you see a causal incremental lift, and you see the extent of the incremental lift, the 900%, and you say, there's something here. And then you refine that, and you find the offers, and you find out what's really going on. Only then can you extrapolate into the future. So all this predictive modeling is nonsense unless you put it in a context of observation, hypothesis, testing, and then theory, and then refining that theory. Okay, that's how it's supposed to work. And Lovesac, while we were engaged with them, went from 50 million in sales to 100 million in sales in just 3 years. And Eric said to me at a conference, you taught us so much. I don't know. Apparently they didn't keep me around for any longer once that got going. But, they did have kind of the formula going. And Brian says that they're still doing it. Last I checked with him, which was not too long ago. Okay, so here, brands expect to spend more on AI and machine learning despite challenges. And the challenges are nobody's trained in it, nobody really understands it, senior management doesn't understand it. Okay, well, I just explained how it can work, right? I explained how it can work, but you need the right data set, and almost no one has the right data set, which is why Gartner Group said a couple of years ago that 87% of machine learning and AI projects fail. Okay? So if you want to do, and 30% said they're going to increase significantly the spending on AI and machine learning. 56% said they were going to increase it somewhat. But you want to get with somebody who's done it for 20 years and made money for 20 years. What an idea. Most feel it will help them make decisions, but computers don't make decisions. They don't even know what a decision is. All they do is pile up more data. And there's never enough data to make a decision. I gave a talk like that at a DMA once. And the fact is, the more data you have, the more spurious correlations you have, which will really confuse your decision making. Okay? So oftentimes the need is to simplify, not to expand the amount of information. What do they want to do first with it? What's the number one thing they want to do? Behavioral segmentation. That's exactly what we did. We got the triggers that got segments to buy. What an idea. Otherwise, it's all a waste. Predictive analytics to forecast future customer behavior. As I said, it won't work. It won't work unless you know who actually engaged with your ad. And you don't know that in mass media or social media. Most of the data, therefore, doesn't give you any level of engagement. Doesn't tell you that. Maybe they got a cookie. Maybe they didn't even see an ad and got a cookie. Dynamic pricing, that's a different kettle of fish. Might make some sense. Sentiment analysis also. So there's some things that AI can do that, I'm not gonna pontificate about. But the fact is that this is funny. 97% agree that AI and machine learning will enable companies to more efficiently analyze social media data. Okay, good luck with that. Most data, even with buying behavior as your dependent variable, most of the variables we create don't make it hell of beans of difference. It's only the dozen or two that really matter. And you won't find those. I don't think you will. I mean, we use machine learning, we use math, but about 90% of the work I do in modeling is throwing out the silly stuff. It just doesn't matter. It might correlate great, but you just say that can't possibly be right. And that's what you need running your machine learning. You need somebody with experience and a brain, and somebody who understands offers and customers and has worked in that for 40 years. That's there we go. Okay. So now we'll change channels just slightly. What's so funny is that all of a sudden RFM is getting a lot of play. This was like just from this, I think from this week. I did a search and found a dozen articles on RFM from this month. And so this is a good one. This was a long one, very, very long. I didn't mark it all up, but it's got a lot of solid basic stuff about RFM. There's a link to a video in there. But I wanted to launch off of this, and this will be available at wdma.org. Just subscribe I've had a few subscribers lately, so somebody's listening this far in. But there's also a new website that I've just actually, it's been around for a while, but I've just rebuilt RFM, and it's not rfm.com, it's rfm.migmar.com. Sorry. I had e-rfm for about 20 years and I let it expire accidentally. But, rfm.migmar.com. It's not so hard. Okay, so it's full of a lot of different articles. This is just an introduction. It's full of videos. That's supposed to be working. I don't know. I didn't refresh it. Okay, lots of articles by lots of different people. It's got Don Leiby's entire book, Menu Leiby on RFM. There it is, his entire book with his permission. And it's also got scholarly articles on RFM. There was a new one I covered just the other day, the new RFMD classification model. Excellent, excellent perspective. It's a little different than just product classifications. And it is a very good article, well worth going over there to rfm.migmar.com. So like and share, check out. I don't think it's loading any cookies, but I built it in WordPress, and you can never tell. WordPress has a habit of adding cookies that I don't even know about. So anyway, like and share. If you're thinking of investing heavily in machine learning, if you're one of these retailers that's really going all in on the thing, you really want to do it with somebody's help, somebody that's done it for a long time. And we did it with lovesac, and most of the credit goes to them because they poured gas on what we found out. Most of my clients don't listen as well as they did. But we started with data and machine learning and leveraged it into significantly higher same store sales year over year. And then they went public, and that's what happened. So have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart.